So Truth and Reconciliation Day, what it meant to me was change.
So Reconciliation Day. For me it meant more than just residential schools.
Truth and Reconciliation Day was a day of reflecting. There was sadness, and some things were good because finally it took that nation to find those lost souls, that it's opened it up for our people and for Canada to realize what really happened in the residential schools.
Why consider it a holiday? Why not a day of education, educating the world about what happened?
Truth hurts sometimes. It's hurt our people for a long, long time. And the thing is, and I think that's why it was swept under the rug so much. And, it brings tears to my eyes to think of what our peoples have gone through and the regulations and different things that we've had to endure. And truth is also inclusive of, like myself, married a non-native. I lost my status for 25 years. My children were born without status because I was no longer considered to be a legal Indian. And those type of things really hurt our people.
We all live in one place and we all share the same stores, the same neighborhoods, the same friends and family at times. And it helps open up this new door for a lot of people.
There was happiness that finally the government is giving us our day, but there was sadness that our Prime Minister didn't even show up where he was invited to. So I know that he doesn't even care about Indigenous people. And that was the sadness that I saw that day. And I really felt, I didn't go because I just stayed home and reflected on, I wore my orange shirt for my dad and for the lost souls, but I wasn't going to be in the public eye or whatever. I just felt it was my time to reflect on what has been going on.
We had a really quiet day. We stayed home. I spent time speaking language with my son, singing to him and talking to him about language.
Personally, I just observed the day at home, thought about my father, one of my greatest teachers. He shared with me that there's no right or wrong way to observe that day, because it's the first one, and so how can we build on that from this year to the subsequent years? So for me, it just means that we need to do the work the rest of the year, up until the next September 30th, and keep adding on to it year by year, and that the relationship isn't just on paper, it isn't just a check mark. And so hopefully that as a society we can grow stronger, but part of that is our people need our land base back. That's one of the ways that crippled our people, is they took away our land base. And so that is a big part of the equation of coming together. And so I just see it as that society has seen what we've been through, and that that they acknowledge that work needs to be done now, other than just us First Nations people pushing for the work.
I found it very interesting when I went to speak to the high school, and the principal, it was the whole school, and the principal announced that I was going to be speaking. He introduced me. Then he said, the 30th is not a holiday to some of us. I was very impressed. Let us look at it the same way as we look at November 11th. We honor and remember the people who died in the war for us. And that's the way we should be looking at September the 30th, not as the holiday.
Yes, you may not be required to go to work or to go to school, but you still have a job to do on that day. Whether that's going to a march, going for a walk, being out in nature, learning a bit of an Indigenous language or some history, and sitting around the dinner table at the end of the day with your family and talking about it. Because we have many, many Indigenous people in this country who were not allowed to talk about it.
When I say reconciliation, let's look at the truth. Let's look at the truth and really understand it, and understand why they tried to do it. And we know that most of it was because of the land, because of money, because of control, power, and those things are sadly held in high regard by most of the people in this world. And that's the sad part. They forget that it's at the expense of a people's.
For myself, as an Indigenous person, as an Indigenous youth up and coming, it's great to see this change in direction as to where at one point we weren't allowed to practice our culture. We were shunned away from society, put onto a reserve system.
I've been lucky that I went to day school, and it wasn't that great because we all got our teeth pulled out and stuff, but it's, you know, things like that our kids are going to be able to go to school without having to go through any of the racism, and for our people and everyone to learn about our culture. It's really important. Kela Kesla.
I have hope that we will have people that will take that gauntlet and just go for it and really stand up for who we are and understand that we have a different way of looking at life and embrace that.
The day as a whole, I think, should be a day for education and reflection and conversation.
It's got to be everybody. We have to all understand. We all have to know what happened, and then walk hand in hand to improve the world.